Marx and the kids. The most spectacularly successful political doctrine in the 20th century was Marxism, based on the implicit presumption that differences in wealth were due to capitalists growing rich by keeping the workers poor through exploitation. And what was wrong with that assumption?
Well, it sounded good like so many others, but again.
And you speak as a former Marxist. You were a
yes,
Marxist.
oh yes.
You considered yourself a Marxist for some years.
Oh, during the McCarthy era, by the way.
Tom Sowell always swimming against the stream.
It simply was never put to any test. Now, the test I suggest is a simple one, but it is a test. And if it's true that the rich are rich because they're keeping the poor poor, then in a country with lots of billionaires, you should correspondingly have great amounts of poor people. But if you compare the actual data, there are more billionaires in the United States than in Africa and the Middle East put together. And yet the standard of living of the poor in the United States is higher than that of people in Africa and the Middle East. So by that simple standard, it just doesn't hold up.
There are problems with the theory. A recent YouGov survey, the proportion of baby boomers, that's my group, who hold favorable views of communism is just 4%. The proportion of millennials, that's my kids and your grandkids, who hold favorable views of communism is 19%.
Yes.
Roughly 1 in 5 young Americans now holds a favorable view of communism. What do you do with that datum?
Well, I think I get very pessimistic. More recently, during the election, all this enthusiasm for Bernie Sanders was taking place while people in Venezuela, under a socialist government, with lots of oil.
A rich country, a rich in natural resources country.
Rich in natural resources country, were starving. They were breaking into grocery stores, desperate to get food. They're going into other countries to try to find something to eat. And the two things never came together. And they saw socialism as an idea. Socialism has always been a wonderful sounding idea. It's only when you put it into practice that you discover that there are real problems.